Deathnote is different from a lot of other animes and has been a favorite for a lot of people. Now this video will contain spoilers, so you have been warned. Light Yagami is smart and deadly. Whether you hate him or love him, he is a perfect anti-hero. I decided to go back throughout the entire series and overanalyze how many people Light Yagami actually killed throughout the show. I will be giving facts along with speculation, so please let me know what you think in the comments. Also be sure to subscribe and like this video as it helps my channel and it also helps find other viewers like you. Let's get started. Light tests out the Deathnote to merely see if it works and ends up killing the person holding everyone hostage. He thinks to himself that this could merely be a coincidence and confirms his hero after killing the arrogant biker later that day. Also, we won't be discussing Light's criminal culpability in this, even though this would be an interesting topic to cover. This all happens in the first episode, so right now his kill count is at 2. I will try to update it somewhere on the screen. Later in the first episode, Ryuk says to Light, "Look at how many people you killed in only 5 days. We also get to see a glimpse of how Light structures his killings within the Deathnote.
Several Death Notes have made their way into the human world in the past, but you're the first to have written this many names. Look at how many people you've killed in only 5 days. Most are reluctant to write this much."
We also get to see that he wrote 2 full pages of names. However, we will get to why I'm not going to count these in a little bit. As we can see, if we freeze frame it, it goes 4 names per line, including the first and last name. So 4 full names. And it also appears, if I counted correctly, the Deathnote to have 38 lines per page. Assuming that all the pages are seen throughout the Deathnote, it'll be 38 rows per page. And yes, I took the time to count all the rows. And following the exact number of kills during the rest of this is hard, because the International Detective Agency says anywhere from 52 to over 100 people could have died during the second episode. But they also say these are all from unexpected heart attacks, which would exclude the biker in the car crash.
There have been 52 deaths that we're aware of, and that's just in the past week.
Every single one of them involved a heart attack.
There are other criminals whose deaths are unaccounted for.
In which case, the death toll could be well over 100.
So it's going to be hard to pinpoint an exact number of kills that Light Yagami actually has. So what we will be doing is doing a minimum amount and a maximum amount. And the number of kills could be anywhere in between there. Hopefully this makes sense, because doing one number is just not feasible. And later in this episode, Light then kills Lind L. Taylor, the inmate posing to be L. Light changes up his strategy to only pre-write his killings down. He does this to stop the suspicion of that Kita is a student. He then goes through the pattern of killing 23 people each day for at least 2 days in a row. He also then tests out controlling his victims before they die. He ends up killing 6 inmates with these tests. He then kills the bus robber in order to obtain information on the FBI agent following him. He then kills another random inmate to play around with L. He kills a criminal who's avoided conviction of sexual assault to prove to Ray Pember, the FBI agent, that he is Kita. He then kills Ray Pember and the 11 other FBI agents. However, Light doesn't write these names down, but he threatens Ray to do it, and if he doesn't, his girlfriend will die. And I think this warrants and adds 12 more people to the people Kita has killed, or that Light has killed. After he kills Ray Pember, he then kills Ray Pember's girlfriend. During the infamous potato chip scene, Light kills 2 people in front of his father and L. After the scene, Light goes after criminals he's seen on the news, but writes their names down afterwards to avoid suspicion from the detectives in general. It's hard to pinpoint how many people he actually killed here, but we do see 4 criminals with their photos and names appear on TV, so it's more than likely that we can add 4 kills here. We fast forward from Light being a high school student to taking the college exam, then into him starting his freshman year at college. However, we don't get any information on the amount of people who have died during this gap in the show. We know it's been 4 months from that time period since it's discussed in a meeting, but like I said, we don't know how many people died during this time, so we could speculate, but we won't write any kills down. Light slows down during this period on killing as he is under suspicion of being Kita by L. During this time, the second cure appears, that is Misa. Light and Misa both get taken into custody, and he doesn't kill any criminals, but then 2 weeks worth of criminals die at once. Light doesn't write these names down as he isn't the one in possession of the Death Note, so we won't count these kills as Light didn't write these names down, even though this was part of his plan. Killings take a long break as Higuchi is in possession of the Death Note now, and after this, Light finally gets possession back of the Death Note and kills Higuchi. Rem ends up killing L, so we fast forward again. However, the amount of time is around 4 to 5 years. Since we can assume Light started college at age 18, and it said that Light is now 23 years old and just graduated college. During this amount of time of when he's in college to when he gets out, we do not know how many people have actually been killed. But we hear the narrator say that killings have increased during this time, so take that how you want. I am not going to write it down because we don't have actual numbers. We then have another break in killings as Mello steals one of the Death Notes. This prompts Light to make Misa in charge of being Kira. He also gives a notebook to another random person called Mikami, as we know. A lot happens during this point of time, and Light isn't the one writing names down, even though he ordered Mikami to start doing this. He also gets the news reporter Takara involved in this. However, we aren't counting any of the kills of that Mikami or the news lady Takara did, as Light didn't do these. But however, the last name he finally writes down is Takara, and this is the last person he kills. Like I said, following the exact number of kills is very hard, as that 5-year gap we really don't get much where it fast forward throughout the show. I really think the kill count is way over the estimated range of 130 kills to 178 and more in the thousands. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a good day.